On June the 23rd, 2015, Avy Dave and myself headed to Shoreditch in London for the Batman Cape and Cowl exhibition. And where else would you expect to find a bat in London? Of course, we found the exhibition under a bridge. Right, so me and Hayden just showed up here at the Cape and Cowl exhibition in Shoreditch, which has been curated and produced by Moniker Projects, and I have to say it looks pretty awesome. I'm outside the holding cells right now, and over there we've got that hanging upside down in the back cave, so it's pretty cool. So anyway, we're going to take a look around now and see what we can find. Cyclops is a London-based artist, and his thinking behind this cape and cowl is that black contains all the colours, so he simply separated the colours, and I have to say this cape and cowl brightened up our day. INSA is a globally renowned artist and has just recently completed one of the biggest paintings known to man, which has actually been photographed from space. But that isn't half as cool as this cape and cowl, which has been tagged with INSA's graffiti fetish pattern. Zeus, I'm told, is a real graffiti artist, and he's drawn upon his own experience of climbing up scaffolding with a spray can and implemented it here on this cape and cowl. And by the looks of it, a miniature Joker has spray painted his name on the side of Batman's head. Pure evil, who is happy with sad, but somehow has managed to make Batman very sad, and you can see here that it looks like he's crying. But if I ever saw pure evil, I'd tell him, hey man, you're pretty good. This is Eliza Doolittle's What Makes You Think That I Need to Be Saved. And I think it's safe to say she's done a lot with this cape and cowl, using upcycled natural materials to create this beautifully strong post-apocalyptic Batman. And she's added feathers to Batman's cape, which actually might help him glide a little better. Inkie's Tribal Knight. Born and bred in Bristol, this London-based graffiti artist has been proclaimed as a graffiti king, and apparently his work can be found in cities across the world. And with this cape and cowl, he's been inspired by indigenous people. Logan Hicks, Gothic Gotham. Now Logan Hicks is from New York, and he uses stencils to produce his work, which is heavily inspired by the urban environment. And with a name like Logan, I'm quite surprised he didn't paint it yellow and blue, like Wolverine. But nonetheless, I think this looks really, really cool. And this is Case's Till Death Do Us Part. Case is a German graffiti artist, and it might be fair to say, das ist vermöglich das beste Batman cape and cowl in the world. Case is from a graffiti artist crew named the McLean Crew, and he's widely recognized as the pioneer in the art of spray can photorealism. And if you figure out what that means, let me know. But I really like this piece because it represents the bond between Bruce Wayne and Batman. Until death do they part. And this is Jodie Kidd's Fade to Bat. And quite clearly, the first thing she did was apply eye makeup. Now Jodie Kidd is an internationally acclaimed presenter and model, and she's pretty well known over here in the UK. And with this cape and cowl, she's presented us with this model of Batman, beautifully designed in black and white. And I have to say the simplistic style of this makes it one of my favourites. John Burgerman's Yellow Bat Cape Club. Now I really like this design because John Burgerman has actually inverted Batman's colours. Instead of black and yellow, it's yellow and black. And John Burgerman is also a fan of doodles and spreading his message of creativity and fun using doodles, and that's something I know a little bit about, but is also the reason I don't work for my former employer. And this one from Jonathan Ross, Dystopian Arkham Knight. Now Jonathan Ross is really famous over here in the UK, and he actually has an OBE, and that has nothing to do with Obi-Wan from Star Wars. It's when you've actually been recognised by the Queen, but I'm guessing this is before he got booted off BBC for insulting somebody's granddaughter. But I have to say I really like this Cape and Cowl. It looks to me like it's been heavily influenced by Sony's PlayStation. And an interesting fact here, Jonathan Ross's wife actually writes comic books, and she actually wrote Kick-Ass. So we can definitely say Jonathan Ross is a comic book fan. And this one from Pam Glew, The Black Flag, a contemporary British artist known for her unique bleaching techniques on vintage fabrics and flags. And in this design, she's integrated stars and stripes and neon constellations, which is meant to reflect Batman's solitude as the star of the city. And here we have from Matt Small, The City Corrodes Us All. And as you can see, Matt Small has applied corroded and dilapidated metal to this Cape and Cowl. And if you wore this to an airsoft game, you could safely take more hits than AV Dave did for losing the iFit challenge, and you wouldn't feel a thing. But anyway, this Cape and Cowl has been inspired by the city and its people and the grit and grime. And this one is called From the Underground by Crash. Crash grew up in New York City during the 60s and was really fascinated by the subway system, what we call over here the underground. I once crashed into someone's sweaty armpit on the underground during rush hour, and it wasn't a pleasant experience. But I can say that looking at this design from Crash, we can see that this Cape and Cowl has been inspired by the street.
Tell them, Robin. Holy superlatives, Batman, really.
And this is an interesting one from Kid Acne, and he calls it Batwoman. And I think it's quite clear to see that the bat has the cat on his brain. So Kid Acne is an artist, an illustrator, a printmaker and an MC. And he's worked all around the world doing murals and art galleries from LA to Azerbaijan. And he's even done lots of illustration for big brand products, which means he probably has some money. So hopefully he's invested some of that in some acne cream. And here we have quite possibly the star of the show from Nancy Fouts. One for all and all for one. Nancy Fouts has reconstructed the Batman's cowl out of a collection of all people and all things. And as you can see, he is made up of many pieces. Great work here, Nancy Fouts. And I think it's safe to say that there's no doubt that if this fell on you, you would say, ow.
Tell them, Robin. Holy superlatives, Batman! It's really exciting.
And this piece from Noel Clarke, who is a London-based actor, producer, director, most well known for Star Trek Into the Darkness and English films Adulthood and Kidulthood, and he's named this Cape and Cowl the Eclator. And an interesting fact for you, I actually sold Noel Clarke a TV before being asked to leave for having a sense of humour by my former employer. Becoming Yourself by the Connor Brothers. Now this particular piece is a modern day take on Memento Mori. Now if you haven't got a clue what that is, neither did I until I googled it. Turns out it's an object kept as a reminder on the inevitability of death, such as a skull. So what they've done here is they've placed the skull inside the cape, blurring the lines between the two. But I have to say, we were a little bit disappointed. We couldn't flip his head back and find the button that opened the secret door to the Batcave. And here we have Acid Rain by Lauren Baker, as she obviously knows a thing or two about London, because it's always raining. And I've lived here so long, I think my skin's acid proof. So Lauren Baker is a multidisciplinary artist who explores the transition between life, death and rebirth. And all of this while still delivering that style of work that has got her featured in the V&A, the Tate Modern and Tate Britain. And as the acid rain falls upon Batman himself, this Cape and Cowl was unmoved, shrouded in darkness. He fights for the light, with diamantes on his face. Here we have Hayden K's Hayden Cave, and this one made our head spin, because he managed to turn Batman's frown upside down, as well as his Cape and Cowl. And this could possibly be inspired by Ozzy Osbourne, because I heard he once had a bat in his mouth during a live performance. So that's it for the Batman Cape and Cowl event in 2015 from Shoreditch, London. I hope you enjoyed this video and my commentary on these capes and cowls, and I have to say it was a really unique event, and I hope you guys get an opportunity to check out some of these Cape and Cowls yourself in person. And I would like to say a big thank you to Avi Day for doing some of the camera work today, to Moniker Projects for putting on this event, also to Warner Brothers Games and DC Comics and Rocksteady for joining forces to bring us this awesome Cape and Cowl exhibit. And most importantly, I want to thank you guys for watching What Gear Reviews. You are some of the finest viewers known to man. And if you subscribe now, that makes you one of the finest subscribers known to man. And I really appreciate your support. And I hope you will look forward to more What Gear events like this in the future. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't be late.